that may transform the way we interact digitally, and it is Metaverse. We have been talking about Metaverse since yesterday, and we almost know Metaverse is going to make a lot of revolutionary change. And most of us are not able to imagine it beyond games. But we have a Metaverse room. You guys have already seen it yesterday as well. You can go and check out today. But before that, we have somebody, the CEO of Metalabs, Mr. Anand, to demystify the mystery of Metaverses for us. May I have you on the stage, sir? Please, a big round of applause for him.
So guys, before I start, how many of you here have a Gmail account? Gmail? How many of you have a MetaMask account? How many of you have forgot Gmail password in the last maybe 6 months? Have any of you forgot MetaMask account's password? Okay, next question. How many of you play PUBG here? And any other mobile games? Car race? How many of you in the last 1 year or 2 years played any browser-based games? Which game is that? Browser-based games. Okay. How many of you use mobile to access your Gmail or any? Okay. How many of you use browser to access your Gmail? Okay, 50. Right. So this was just okay. Last question. How many of you have got scolded by someone or judged by someone for playing any games that you are wasting your time? Okay. So this is about the change in the next few years, I suppose. And going forward, I'm going to go against some popular opinions about Metaverse. There are a lot of hype words, there are a lot of buzzwords, but we'll break it down what in essence a Metaverse is, and how games or any other application of a Metaverse will fit into this whole scheme of things. So what is a Metaverse at its essence? Is it something new? Is it something which suddenly popped up in the last 1 or 2 years after COVID? How can a technology sort of spring up in 1 year or 2 years? It cannot, right? So the technologies which make up Metaverse were in existence for the last, 6-7 years. After Facebook took over, everything is accumulated and they're sort of giving a buzzword called Meta and Metaverse, but in its essence, like a metaphysics, Meta world or Metaverse is something which exists in the digital realm of things, and not only that, which is trying to replicate a real world, whatever it is, right? A bank can have a Metaverse where you go and create your personal savings account. That can be a Metaverse. Hospital can have a Metaverse where you go and sort of have some sort of information from someone. So, and is it something new? In a way, no, because everyone here, we are already living in the Metaverse. How many of you have friends who you have never seen, but you have been chatting with them for years together in WhatsApp and Zoom and all that? And when you actually go and meet them, and when you talk to them in person, in voice, they seem like someone who is totally opposite to what impression you had before, right? So we are already in a Metaverse. I have a DP in my LinkedIn, I have a DP in my WhatsApp, the character I want to project myself as. And my bio and whatever text I put online is becoming my avatar already. What is the new Metaverse going to do? We are already in a semi-Metaverse, right? We don't really go and speak to people in person nowadays. It's always WhatsApp, voice messages, and all that. Now, this new Metaverse is going to make it a little more interesting. So, when if I've been looking at someone's DP in WhatsApp or Zoom or whatever, now this is going to create an avatar for them, right? Now, we already know in Insta how many, we take a selfie and we apply all sort of filters, make it pretty, and we post it, right? So, this is going to the next level where people come up with their own avatars, decorate them as they want, and give a characterization of themselves. Like I could become a Hulk. I could make an avatar. I want to become like a bodybuilder. I mean, in my mind, I'm a bodybuilder, sorry. So you can create a Hulk as someone like a Hulk as a DP or avatar. So, and the communication lines which was limited to chat and voice messages, it's going to become a little more interactive, where you physically go in the metaverse, in the 3D virtual shop or a real estate, and we're going to interact them in whatever way the metaverse allows you to. So now there could be many types of metaverses. Whatever we've been seeing so far, the sandbox and stuff like that, they are limited to browser-based metaverses. So that's why I asked this question: how many people use browser on a day-to-day basis, and how many people use mobile phone or sort of stuck to mobile phone on a day-to-day basis? So if you are thinking that metaverse is going to be only on the browser, then as a technology we are going back a little bit, because we are forcing everyone to sort of go to their browsers and look at their metaverse, which is not very scalable. So your metaverse can be a PC-based application also, which is a typical exe file, where you install exe file and you get connected to other metaverses. And metaverses can be in virtual reality and in augmented reality tools. Now, on a scale of 1 to 100, we are saying at 10 to 5 to 10% of the start of this whole metaverse building, and these are the various factors which will contribute to metaverse being projected or to achieve what it is projected to achieve. One is networking, which is your latency and the bandwidth which you have, the internet basically. So if we don't have aid from those things, you cannot just like that connect to the metaverse. Your user experience will suffer. So network and latency will contribute a lot to this whole metaverse becoming what it is projected to be. Second is the computing. Computing means the GPU, because we are trying to create more and more realistic metaverses. But your mobile, or if your PC or any other device you use to access it, it's not going to improve, and the price also is not, if it's not supporting that, basically your GPU is not going to be supporting the realism of the metaverse. Then again, you're going to suffer, the metaverse is going to suffer, and the users are not going to really like to metaverse. And interoperable works. We cannot expect everyone to be in different metaverses, and that means it's sort of again going as my own LinkedIn profile, and I have my friends and chatting with them. It's going to become like that. As Mr. Raj Kapoor said, we need to have metaverses which connect to each other and communicate to each other. And interoperable NFTs. How many of you own NFT here? NFT, some sort of NFTs. Okay. So now, when you buy an NFT from one particular founder or a domain or a company, the utilities you get is going to be limited to that particular project, right? Now we need NFTs which sort of communicate between projects. They cannot expect a user to buy one NFT and pay 1K. In that case, how many NFTs will you have to buy to access the 3 games? So the NFTs should be able to talk to different projects and sort of enter different worlds. So that's what we call as interoperable NFTs. And the hardware, of course, hardware is basically going to make your interaction easier, faster, and much more shorter. In the sense, there are hardware which are right now developed, which could be AR glasses, and even sound and smell emulators. There are these emulators which you put on top of VR headsets. They're going to emulate a sort of a scent to your brain nerves, and you're going to feel some sort of scent. So hardware side, there is going to be a lot of development which is happening, and everything together is going to contribute to the metaverse. Payment policy is more important. Any app builders here, any game developers, game or app store, or anyone has put something on the app store recently? Okay. So right now, Apple's policy and Google policy, not Google policy, Apple policy says that if you buy any NFT through their app, you get, straight away they get a 30% flat. So now this, I don't know how this is going to pan out, but it's going to sort of affect all the metaverse NFT companies. And also Apple policy says that you cannot unlock any feature inside the app through NFT. So which sort of totally puts the business model in a reverse, because if you cannot unlock a feature by virtue of holding NFT, then what are we going to do with the app itself, right? So these are payments from Apple and Google is going to play a major part in this to these businesses and the companies building it. Probably we may get a decentralized app store, a decentralized mobile app store, So maybe you just go and download it lead from them, I don't know. But these are the elements which will contribute to a business in Metaverse or in NFTs. And major part of this Web3 Metaverse decentralization is the community building. So Web2 companies, how they do a business is they build something and then they sell it to customers in a SaaS model or in whatever model they want to. But it's about users, it's about say companies and users. It's not communities. What Web3 does is you from the day one, we have to start speaking to our communities, we build with them, we build in front of them. So even before we launch the project, we sort of try to build the community, we tell them what we are doing, and we evaluate, and we sort of learn from the community and what sort of information they provide to us. Basically, we test the product fit with the community much before we launch it on the on the store or put it on for to go into live. So right now we are doing this in Twitter. We are about 10K followers, and the information which I have received from them, it is sort of which sort of helps us to fine tune our processes and sort of take the right route forward. So your community will become your shareholders because you have to share a bit of your revenue with them because they're investing in you as in terms of NFTs or whatever means you want. And they will become your testers. You don't have to hire or sort of simulate 30, 40 mobile phones. You just have to send a file to them, and from their device you can guess, because they're going to be with you from day one to launch date. And critics and as I explained, marketing and distribution channels. Now, have anyone been in Twitter, or how many people are in Twitter, like active Twitter users, and are you part of any NFT communities? So now you may, if you are one, then you will know that the virality which user brings is so uncomparable to an influencer putting it. So last year was like, you pay an influencer and then he put out a tweet for $100 or $50 and then people would go and follow him, buy him. So now this year is about, we should not use influencers, that's the mantra now. So we try not to use influencers, and even if your influencers, we try to explain the product to them and make them understand it and be a part of it instead of paying it. So this is how the trend is going towards using communities even as a distribution channel and a marketing channel for the product. Now with these in mind, this is something which I want to touch upon. Let's say we are building a MG Road Metaverse in browser. We have built this road, we have built all these shops, tokenized it, even sold it to these brands. Right? Now, the question is, will it become a hit or not? Let's say I'm building a MG Road Metaverse, I have all the shops which you have in MG Road in the Metaverse, in the browser. You can go and access, buy it. Will it become a hit or not? Yes or no? Yes, okay. Now the question here is, MG Road is valuable in terms of its real estate, not because it is MG Road, because there are people in Bangalore, and why people are here in Bangalore? Because they have jobs in Bangalore, right? Now, if you have a metaverse where you have all the shops, and if you don't have a use case for people to go and hang out there, right? Then why are we going to go to that? It's a replica of Amazon in 3D. There are only going to be shops, and you expect people to spend so much time on these shops because there are shops. Imagine, I think 10, 12 years before, there were these bloggers. The bloggers wrote brilliant articles in their pages, and people came there to read them first. And because they got more people, some company came there and bought a banner on the corner, and that became an advertisement, right? Now, this whole the blog getting famous is because someone is creating a content there or in terms of giving a value for the user there. Now, what Metaverse right now we have is a combination or a number of shops, a number of influencers, all that. But what is the Metaverse in its essence? Why should we go to the Metaverse and spend 10, 20 minutes or half an hour in the Metaverse for what? That is a question, and that is the elephant in the room which no one has addressed so far. Maybe it could be an education platform where we sort of gamify the whole education or the learning, and people go there for that. And by virtue of going there, they will see some ads, some shops, Adidas, etc., etc. That could be a metaverse. But in its essence, there should be some value which the metaverse itself as a platform should provide to the user, and then monetize the user through advertisements or shops or whatever. Now, without this, the whole metaverse becomes an unsustainable economy, which is what you're seeing now with Sandbox, decentralized, and all the engagements happening. And NFTs, when a metaverse or any community releases NFTs, it may have in the future all these utilities in addition to NFT serving as an art or a profile picture NFT or a game NFT. Now, with these in mind, this is what we are doing. We are making a mobile game, a FPS mobile game, which we think that will have a sustainable economy. So this is previous years maybe the bull market of NFTs where it peaked to high numbers and then it tanked down, right? So now the numbers are like 80% down now. You don't have the same numbers. Why? These are the problems. There was nothing entertaining in the metaverse itself. The games are very primitive. For a crowd who has grown up playing PUBGs, these games are very primitive. So lack of entertaining gameplay, and there was no ad revenue built on the game itself, and lack of sustainable economy, just for what I explained before. And browser-based metaverse, which is sort of limiting the usability. People are always with their mobiles, right? Everywhere you write for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you go to a mobile. But our metaverse right now are focused towards the browser, which also sort of limits the scalability. And lot of NFT utility. Millions of dollars have been spent in buying NFTs, but one day to hold them as perfect pictures, and they literally no use after. So these are the problem statements. And we sort of try to analyze all the problem statements and try to do something about it. So our formula for sort of a workable, sustainable economy is you make a game with immersive ads, not Unity ads, not video ads, because video ads does not pay you anything. They pay for 10,000 clicks, they pay you $1, $2. So we try to create our own immersive ads in the metaverse, in the AR metaverse, and the brands will give the rewards to the users, for the users to share this and make it, viral or put it in the social media. And that is what we are envisioning. So what we are doing is we are going to be scanning the real world. It could be a shop, it could be a mall, or it could be any place where there is a traffic. And after we scan, we are going to, so when I mean scan, I mean we get the depth information of the place. And we can sort of see it in 3D inside our application. And then we will create this immersive, localized, gamified, augmented 3D advertisements for the brand in that place. Not in the browser, not in the video ads, exactly in that place. And the users, by playing our game, they will unlock these shops or locations, and even when they go to that location, they will go through these experiences which is happening there. These will not be boring experiences or not, but this will be interactive, gamified, larger than life, advertisements. So the user will go through that and sort of share it with their friends and relatives or in WhatsApp or whatever it is, and they get rewards for that action. So they are using the community to scan this, so we cannot literally go to the world. So they are using the community to sort of scan this and upload this information on our server, which in turn we use it to augment the advertisement state. We are also adding real-world application. We are tying about plans. So anyone who hosts has our NFT, and they will get sort of discount coupons. They'll sort of have some sort of privileges in this brands who will tie up with. So these are the typical Web3 economy. We also have that. So the users will be able to play the game, unlock levels, improve their own character, and that also can be put onto the chain. It's like you're playing NFS and you're upgrading your engines by grinding the game or by buying this object or upgrading it via in-app purchases, and you can make that on the chain as well. So these are the stuff, these are the pages which we'll be scanning, and we'll be creating these sort of advertisements. If we tie up with a mall, and if you enter a mall, this is the sort of visualization which you see from our app. Now, more important question is why do this now? Because 2 weeks back, Apple CEO has come out and said the browser-based metaverses will not sustain because the hardware industry is going to be changing, like how mobiles replaced the laptops. The next stage of the hardware revolution is AR glasses are going to replace the mobiles. So as a health concern also, we cannot be stuck to mobiles for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours a day. As a generation, there are a lot of problems with the health. So the whole economy, in the sense, the business model, the top 5 companies, they are working towards creating AR glasses, which will be connected to your mobiles, and you will see the glasses, you will see your Gmail boxes, Zoom calls, everything in front of you, and these will be like connected to your mobile phones with Bluetooth, and that this is, the AR will replace browser-based metaverses, this is production, and every company is working on their own AR glasses. So this is a comparison between other metaverses and what we are trying to do. Can you play it? So users have buys or NFTs and they enter the game through their MetaMask account, and then they connect to the, they can choose the character, the NFT whichever they own from us, or also other NFTs or from other communities who we collaborate with, and then they'll be able to select the weapon whichever they have, and then log in and play the game. The game itself is first-person shooter, pretty much like a PUBG, where you shoot, kill, and be proud of your kills. Now this red building which you see in the game, that red building is connected to a real mall in Chennai. So they have scanned the front of the mall, and we have augmented some experiences there. So the user will play this game, unlock this mall, for example, from inside this mobile, wherever he is now. So now he's going to enter this red building which is mapped to a real mall in Chennai, for example. And you get a message like this, and if the user actually physically enters the mall is going to become like this, to view through the mobile app. These are the advertisements which we'll be creating for the brands, and when people record, interact and share it, they will get rewards from, for example, this particular ice cream shop or burger shop or whatever it is. Now we created a little something here in the same location after you left yesterday evening. Basically. This is done in the same location we are sitting now. It's not 3D, it's not CGI. Yeah, and we have broken the ceiling. Sorry for that. So we have mapped this room and we have created a self-promotion ad for this. So this is how the brand will make use of the location and the videos which we will be sharing this for rewards. So the idea is to replace video ads with augmented reality ads, which later could become a data point because the user will interact with them, and the second layer will be collecting data from this and uses that data for. Yeah, so that's about it. So if you have any questions, we'll go to take it.
Hello. So I just wanted to ask you, since you mentioned AR classes, how far do you think we are technology-wise, where we might see like everybody wearing AR classes, because that would be pretty cool to have. So technology-wise, how far are we from, it becoming fully mainstream?
So Geo already has the AR glasses coming in the next 6 months or maybe 8 months. Geo glasses will be on the market, and probably they give it for very cheap. And apart from that, Ray-Ban is working on their own glasses, and Apple and every top company is working on their own glasses. Snap already has the glasses. They haven't come to India, but they already have the glasses. But let's say you can safely assume in 2 years, mobile glasses will be in the market, and the price point will be about 30K, 35K.
And I have another question, and in terms of competition, we also see Meta Oculus glasses. So, do you think those will go hand in hand, or maybe they won't be competitors or something like that?
No, we don't have competitors who are mobile glass makers. We will integrate to every mobile glass. So Oculus now has a VR/AR. It's like a MR device, the latest Oculus. So when we sort of integrate this project into Oculus, then they will be able to see the whole world of their own hardware.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. So, any question? Any question? Please go ahead.
The AR app that you showed, how will it be more immersive than a video app? Because essentially, even in an AR app, you're interacting with your phone screen, right?
Can you repeat the question?
Like the AR app that you showed, the one with the dinosaur, how will it be more interactive than a video app?
So the AR apps, when you open your mobile, when you through our application, if you're focusing or if you're looking at this place, you will see this 3D augmented whatever stuff happening here, and it will be a mini game of sorts. You'll be instructed to do some action based on the brand here. Let's say if it was a coffee shop, that could be coffee cups floating, and you may have to sort of break them or sort of match them, whatever it is, and then the whole experience will be recorded if you want to, and if you share it, the coffee shop will give you a reward for it, for example.
Understood.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
Thank you for that. Here, a quick question on the one of the points you talked about was interoperability. Right?
Yes.
That's going to be a challenge because everybody wants to build their own Chinese walls and keep the customers in there. What are your thoughts on that? I mean, what's holding people back? Where do you see that going?
Interoperability of metaverses or NFTs?
Both.
Interoperability of metaverses, right now there is no standard for any metaverse. Each one is building in their own standards, but we are yet to see some sort of standards for the whole metaverse worlds in terms of the 3D standards or the file standards. NFTs, we already have standards. We have token IDs. We have enough information in the blockchain. It's left to the builders to sort of do R&D and pick the data point from the NFT. And we have a 3-line code which we can add it. We can make your NFTs come into our game, for example. So NFT interoperability can be done like even today. Metaverse interoperability, we are little away from that.
Thank you so much, that would be all. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Now, again, a big round of applause to you, please.